You can buy houses in Dragons Dogma 2, allowing you to rest for free, access your storage, and also get gifts from those NPCs that you've been helping out. The resting is free once you buy the house, which is probably one of the better perks of them in the early game. But when you get further in your playthrough or into New Game Plus runs, money doesn't become too much of a problem, and in case you missed it, you can find yourself an in-game house to buy from the cost of 20k gold up to 300,000 gold. But is it worth it? Well, let's check out each of the houses and how to get them, so you can choose which one to go for, or all of them if that's the way you roll. To start it off, we have the Common Quarter house in Vernworth, the main city of Vermund. You can find it located here on the map. You can get this house through the A Place Called Home quest from Mildred. Basically, she will ask you to house sit for a week for free, and after that you can then buy it off of her for 20k gold. While this might be a lot of gold at the very start of the game, it's actually the cheapest house available, and when you consider that each in-rest in Vernworth will cost you 2k, this quickly becomes worth it in terms of its gold value. The house itself is very small though, just one room with some very basic decorations around, but the main bonus of this house is that it's very cheap. It's located right next to the main square with all of the vendors, making it the quickest to get to, which honestly just might make it the best one. Because then we have the second house you can buy in Vernworth, but this time it's in the Noble Quarter. By going here on the map, you can talk to the NPC Salvatore, who is just outside the house and will sell it to you for the small price of 200,000 gold. Yes, it's 10 times more than the common house. But what exactly does this one get you? Well, the house itself is a lot bigger with several rooms throughout with some nice decorations and paintings scarcely around. There's a really good view from the balcony that looks over the city as well. But the thing is, the actual house itself doesn't have any extra features or buffs that it gives you by owning it, and I don't think it carries over into New Game Plus either. So outside of the RP, there's no real reason to buy this one because it functions the same as the common house, although it's just a bit bigger and looks a bit nicer. Because it's further away from vendors in the main square and costs 10 times more, I don't know if this one's super worth it unless you just really like the way it looks. But that being said, I do quite like it. I just wish it came with some kind of XP or discipline buff when you rested to make it worthwhile buying. But Vernworth isn't the only place where you can buy a house. You can also get 2 houses in Battahl. By going here in Battahl, you can buy a private dwelling from Adria for 30k gold this time. Similar to the Common Quarter house in Vernworth, this one is quite small but with no view, but does function exactly the same as other houses with a bed and storage unit. It's also located really close to the vendors, making this quite possibly the ideal choice for resting in Battahl without constantly having to pay an innkeeper. So although it is small, it does have the same functionality as every other house, and its location is closest to the vendors, so it's probably the better one for Battahl. But if you are feeling like a real baller, then you can go to the palace area here on the map and talk with this NPC who is looking to sell a house in the Flamebearer Palace. Of course, this is the most valuable area of the city, although it will set you back a whopping 300,000 gold. The thing is, this house is really far away from everything else, making it a little less useful. And to my surprise, it's basically one room with an open cliff on the side, which although has a pretty good view, is quite interesting in that it just has a sheer drop out into the ocean. Similar to the Noble Quarters house, there's no extra benefit or functionality to this expensive version that you can get in Battahl. It doesn't have any additional features or buffs that it gives you. I really think these expensive house variants need something to make them worth chasing. Maybe you could keep them across New Game Plus, maybe a buff for resting like I mentioned before would be good, or maybe whole new features like quick access to vendors or just something to make them special. But what do you think? What could they change about these houses to make them a bit better? Which house is the best in your opinion and are you planning to go for? I really do like the Noble Quarter house in Vernworth, but personally I just don't think I'd ever run that extra distance to use it over the common house since it's just closer and functions the same. So tell us your thoughts down below, and thank you very much for watching.